Okay, so guys, let me roll my windows up so you can hear me better. I'm gonna make a quick video because I've got to get to work and don't have anything prepared about this whole situation because I just heard about it last night. So this is just some quick chat off the cuff for anybody who wants to discuss it or look into it or talk about it more. But I saw last night that Tim Norman from Sweetie Pies was charged with killing his nephew for a $450,000 insurance policy. Commissioning the murder of his nephew for a $450,000 insurance policy. And it just really blew my mind because Sweetie Pies has been one of my favorite shows for a long time. I actually was in Tennessee for work about 2 years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago. I was in Tennessee. I went to Nashville for work. Me and a coworker of mine who was actually my girlfriend at the time. When I say girlfriend, I mean homegirl. I know this is a new generation. Y'all get that misconstrued. But my homegirl who I work with, we had went to Tennessee for work, and we had plans to drive to Memphis to check out Beale Street, go to Sweetie Pies and all of that. But our work schedule was so tight, we had got off so late, and then we had to go back so early in the morning that we didn't drive to Memphis because I think it was like maybe 2 or 3 hours from Nashville, and we knew that after we hung out all night or whatever the case, we wouldn't make it back in time. So we never did go to Sweetie Pies in Memphis on Beale Street. But it's crazy because I've just always been a fan of the show. Always really, really loved that show. And I think, I go back and forth. I don't watch a lot of TV. So if I say it's my show, then that must means I really liked it because I don't watch a lot of TV. And I think at that point in time, like somewhere towards the last season or two of Sweetie Pies, I didn't have cable anymore, so I didn't watch it as often. So I've seen like all the seasons and all the episodes except maybe the last like season or two or something like that. And I've probably seen most of that by now by watching it online. So I can recall when the nephew Andre, like I recall the whole thing. I remember when he was there. Miss Robbie supported him through graduating high school. The mother had sent him to live with them from Texas so he could stay out of trouble and do good things because I guess he was kind of, being a little typical teenager into like, I don't know if he was into gang related stuff or just stuff that some teens from certain areas or urban neighborhoods kind of get into, or suburban, because it happens in the suburbs too. So I remember when all of that happened and he was on the show, and then I remember the nephew dying, and I think right around the time that he passed is when I didn't have the cable anymore, so I didn't watch all of the episodes with like Tim taking Miss Robbie over to the grandmother's house on what's it called, New Bridge Road or whatever the case, where they said they lost a lot of people in their family, where a lot of people have been killed because that's a street that runs from one side of the city of St. Louis to the other. So it's a major thoroughfare that a lot of things happen on. It's a very long street, main street in St. Louis. So I can recall all of that. And I can also recall always thinking, Tim was, I think everybody knew that Tim wasn't right. Like there was something not right about Tim. But I always chalked it up to, I never really disliked him. I just couldn't understand what his motivation was or where his mind was at because, and I always chalked it up to him being in jail for 10 years. Anytime you go to jail at all, that can totally fuck you up, especially if you go to jail for anything for years. You get what I'm saying? And once you hit that 5 mark and beyond, I think once you hit the 60-day mark and beyond, you're done. You're done. But once you hit that 5-year mark and beyond, you're absolutely done. And like one of my girlfriends says, she's a Gemini. She says that she always says when they hit that 10-year mark, it's a wrap. Like anybody's been locked up for 10 years or more, that's a whole nother individual. That prison life has really changed that person. So I always chalk Tim's Super aggressiveness when it came to business, up to him being locked up, and the mental and physical issues that may have stemmed from him being locked up. Yes, Tim has some feminine ways about him. I know everybody always talks about his hips. Comes off a little gayish. Always thought Tim, especially due to experiences in jail, always kind of wanted in the back of my mind, was a little gay or bisexual or something. It's always been a thought, never really knew. And I just chalked whatever Tim was going through up to him being locked up for so long, because he was very aggressive with the business. And I always kind of felt like, if that's Miss Robbie's business and it's something that was built, that she built prior to you going to jail, while you were in jail, whatever the case, I know you are her son, but how do you come out? She lets you into the business. You're helping her with this business. And when I tell you what his zodiac sign is, you'll understand why he is good at business. Why he was good in a way for Miss Robbie's business, but it's some of the other elements in his chart that are just out of control, which just took that to the extreme. So I always found it crazy that he would do things behind Miss Robbie's back or try to go over Miss Robbie. I understand he's of a younger generation and he sees changes in things that could bring them more money and prosperity, like having a location in Texas, having a location in LA. But he was just so adamant about going against Miss Robbie's word and doing what he wanted to do. And I just found that really strange for a person who that's not your business. It is your family's, it is your mother's business that she started. And then, of course, you all know the issues that he's had with the females in his life. So it seems like, which I guess would be typical of somebody coming out of jail after 10 years, because people who never been in jail can't get their relationship right. So him coming out of jail, fussing with Janae, the baby's mom, not being able to get along with people. Then he was dating Jennifer Williams. They got into a whole big ordeal. She said he was physically abusive, and I think she said that another ex of his had also came out and said he was physically abusive. So Tim has had some issues, but I always attributed it and chalked that up to him being locked up for 10 years. And out of all the issues he ever had, I would never think that he would put a hit out on his nephew. And I know he's been charged and is innocent till proven guilty, but from everything I'm reading, then taking a look at his chart, I think he's guilty. Like, I think that he did that to the nephew, and it's just unbelievable. And I think it's unbelievable because those who have watched Sweetie Pies, I think people who are fans of Sweetie Pies are fans of Sweetie Pies. Like, I love Miss Robbie. Ain't nothing you could tell me about Miss Robbie. I don't know if I've ever met an older lady I like so damn much. I love me some Miss Robbie. I like the whole St. Louis thing about her. How she shoots straight. Like, I just really dig Miss Robbie. Hold on, guys, because I got to take some stuff in the house. So I'm going to be making a lot of noise. Wait a minute, y'all. I'm trying to carry, all this stuff. Get back from the store in the morning, about to work. So, wait a minute, y'all. I'm coming in from the garage. It's raining. Let me take my rain boots off. And I'll keep talking to y'all. So, I've just always dug the show. And I never really disliked him. I just always thought he's a bit throwed. He was a bit off. You know what I'm saying? So, and I just didn't like the way he would treat Miss Robbie. Very emotional attitude. Sort of feminine acting guy. Feminine but manly acting guy, right? So, one second, y'all. Let me turn my IM on. So, very feminine kind of acting guy. So, when I heard this, I literally just had went on the internet and pulled, literally as soon as I pulled up the page, I see this story about him being charged with the murder of the nephew. So it's crazy. And I know it's really crazy for people who watched the show and saw all of this transpire on the show. So not only did you see them going through this tragedy, Tim was comforting Miss Robbie. He took her back to the site where he actually got shot at, which is where it was right across the street from their grandmother's house on that New Bridge Road. He was comforting Miss Robbie through this whole ordeal. And then if you go back far enough, you can actually see his interactions with Andre, which was the nephew that got killed, when he was alive. And I just would have never expected that. And I was just telling my girlfriend who was looking at his chart with me this morning that he is, what did I say to her? I said he is really passively aggressive, obviously not obvious. Because it's like, I think we all know he was throwed. We all know he was off. But I don't think anybody thought that. So, guys, I'm going to make this real quick because I have to get off of here. I just want to mention, this is not a whole chart analysis and digging into his aspects. I don't know his time of birth. So, I don't know his houses. And the degrees are going to be off. But his planets are far enough in the signs, not at like really super low degrees where the planets are still not in that sign. So there's really nothing inconspicuous about where his moon is or anything like that. Because really, the moon is the major thing that will change with the time because it's the fastest moving planet. And of course, the degrees are going to change, which makes a difference because degrees are really, really, truly important. They're a big deal. But for the purposes of just looking at where his planets are at right now, you don't need all of that. So I just want to tell you guys, this is an example. And my girlfriend said, she was saying, you just said that because we were looking at some charts the other day and talking about some men that had heavy water sign placements. And I don't know what male we were talking about specifically, but I was making a point, and so was she, that men don't always know how to handle their water sign placements. It's a little easier sometimes for a female to handle that feminine energy than it is for a man who has his sun, his Mars, his Venus, or different things like that placed in water signs. And it's not about just one aspect, but when you have several of those things going on, that could speak to a very passive aggressive, bottling of emotions, rageful person when it comes out, because we already know the water signs can be emotionally manipulative. All of the signs are manipulative in their own way. Water signs would be emotionally manipulative. So when I looked at his chart, he had, let me pull it back up. He had Cancer. His sun is in Cancer. So you guys know I'm a Cancer. So I was taken aback, shocked, and appalled by his actions. He has just really violated the Cancer race, right? So he had his sun in Cancer. He has his moon in Pisces. He has his Venus in Cancer. And then what I think kind of solidified that he might be gay or bisexual, considering all of those placements, is then he has his Mars in Gemini, Mercury in Leo, Jupiter in Leo, Saturn in Virgo, and then the generational planets that all of us who are around this age have. He's a year older than me. So Uranus in Scorpio, Neptune in Sag, Pluto in Libra. Of course, our degrees are different, but those are generational planets. So everybody born within a certain time are going to have those planets. But I just want to point out how he has he has those birthing hips. He has those wide hips. You see how much water he has in his chart, and that all of that water and that Mars in Gemini, I think it really gives him, there's a lot of duality about Tim. Like, he seems like a man, but he seems like a woman. And for him to pay somebody to put a hit on the nephew while being on TV in the spotlight, having already did 10 years in jail. This man is truly psycho. And if you see the picture that I put on the video, the thumbnail, he is smiling ear to ear in the damn mugshot when he got arrested. So guys, I was appalled that he was a Cancer. Like, to be honest, his placements in his chart, the water placements that he has, at least the sun and the moon, are kind of similar to mine. And I was just appalled and taken aback that he did this, and then to pull up his chart and kind of see his signs. But this is an example of when men cannot handle the feminine energy. And later today, I'm going to look more at his aspects, his fixed stars. I'm going to look at his degrees. I'm going to look at all of that. But let me tell you what is so sick and psychopathic about what he did. The nephew that he's charged with killing is his mother's dead son's child. So he had a brother that was killed. That family has lost a lot of people to violence. So I believe there's some sort of curse on the family, because I believe Tim's father, Ms. Robbie's, I don't know if that was her husband or just his dad, he was killed due to gun violence, I believe. This nephew just got killed due to gun violence. The nephew's father, Miss Robbie's son, was killed due to gun violence. One of Miss Robbie's sisters, if you all watch the show, you know his cousin Monique, pretty lady. She usually rocks the hell out that shortcut, was real close friends with Janae. Her brother, which Tim said was his best friend, killed due to gun violence. And I know St. Louis is rough, but when you had that many people in your immediate family killed due to gun violence and things like that, I mean, it has to be a curse or something deeper. So that's what makes it so sick. Your mom has already been through the hurt of losing so many people in her life, not just your mom, but your family due to gun violence. And then you go kill the nephew? Guys, I pray that this is not true, but I have a feeling it completely is. So if you haven't heard it, go check out the story. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but they're saying his motive was he took out a $450,000 insurance policy on a nephew in 2014. In 2016, the nephew gets killed. And they've traced, he had plotted this thing out with a stripper that he knew or that he met. So the stripper is also being charged. And they had found phone records. She was close to the location. She flew in, I think, from Texas or different places. Remember, he opened that restaurant in Texas. I think it's Texas where she flew to St. Louis from. So they've kind of traced the phone calls and everything, which is how they are charging them. So that also goes to show you. So when I was talking about, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm going real fast. I got to get off of here. But when I was talking about the work ethic and everything, you see how, cancers are one of the signs that are known to be rich. Business people were all about the money and stability. And you see how he just took that and went to the umpteenth degree with it. Even so much as so, if you killed this nephew over $450, you are beyond, you might just be one of the most psychopathic people I've ever seen, because with the fame, the notoriety, and the business, and just the history that your mother has in the community, in the business, and being on damn Oprah Network, for you to think $450,000 was enough to kill your family member, you might just be the craziest person I've ever heard of. So guys, Google the story, check it out. It's crazy. And it really shows me a lot of times men with those heavy personal planets and water signs do not know how to hide it. Do not know how to handle it. And it's very scary because it'll come out or it'll hit you when you're not expecting you. It's a passive aggressiveness to it. And you don't always know it till it's too late. Guys, it's Wednesday, hump day, August the 19th. Have a wonderful day. Madam X, Frequency Radio, and I'm out.